Imagine sitting on your couch, flipping through TV channels on a quiet Tuesday night, when a news report flashes your name tied to a $600,000 debt you never took on, only to see your own sister smiling on screen, flaunting a lavish lifestyle, funded by your stolen identity. Now picture the shock. Your parents knew and begged you to stay silent, to save her reputation. I'm Harper Davis, and this is my story of betrayal, a hidden fight for justice, and a revenge that turned the tables in ways you'd never expect. Stick around to find out how I fought back. I'm Harper Davis, 27, living in Tucson, Arizona, a sun-soaked suburb where cactus gardens and pickup trucks dot the streets. My life was the kind of steady progress I'd worked hard to achieve: a junior copywriter at a local ad agency, a cozy one-bedroom Adobe-style house with a small patio, and a paid-off Toyota Tacoma that hauled my camping gear. My credit score was a respectable 775, the result of years of discipline, skipping fancy vacations, brewing my own iced tea, and resisting the allure of online shopping sprees. I ran a side gig writing freelance articles, the extra cash funding, my love for desert hikes and craft beer tastings. My family was my anchor, or so I believed. My parents, Rick and Ellen Davis, lived 12 miles away in Marana, in the ranch-style home where I grew up, with its dusty yard and a patio where Dad still grilled burgers every weekend. Dad was a retired plumber, his hands calloused from years of fixing pipes, while Mom ran a part-time craft store, her shelves stocked with handmade jewelry. They were the kind of parents who'd stay up late helping with school projects, who'd cheer at my college debate tournaments, who taught me that grit outlasts luck. Then there was my older sister, Lily, 30, the family's shining star. Lily was a whirlwind, petite, with golden hair and a laugh that could light up a room. She'd always been the dreamer, chasing bold ideas while I kept my feet on the ground. Her ventures included a failed boutique clothing line, a short-lived travel blog, and a stint as a lifestyle influencer that earned her a modest Instagram following. Each flop came with a new excuse: bad suppliers, bad timing, bad markets, but Mom and Dad never faltered. Lily's got charisma, Dad would say, his voice thick with pride. Mom would nod, convinced her daughter was one post away from fame. Was the dependable one, the one who showed up on time, paid my share, and never stirred trouble. I didn't mind much. I loved my family, quirks included. We'd gather for Saturday barbecues at Mom and Dad's, crowding around their picnic table for Dad's burgers, Mom's coleslaw, and Lily's latest pitch for some game-changing project. I'd roll my eyes at her stories, but I'd laugh, too, because that's what families do. They tease, they support, they stick together. Or so I thought. Growing up, Lily and I had been tight, despite our differences. She'd taught me to swim, sneaked me cookies when Mom wasn't looking, and clapped loudest at my college graduation. But there were fissures. Lily had a knack for stretching the truth, for promising things she couldn't deliver. When I was 16, she borrowed $180 from my lawn mowing money for a pop-up shop deal that never materialized. She swore she'd repay me, but she never did. I let it go. Family, right? That was Lily, charming, reckless, always forgiven. It was a humid Tuesday night on June 17, 2025, the kind where the Arizona heat lingered even after sunset. I was sprawled on my couch, flipping through channels after a long day, the glow of the TV casting shadows on my living room walls. I landed on Channel 9 News, expecting the usual local updates: traffic, weather, maybe a feature on the Tucson rodeo. Then my name flashed across the screen: Harper Davis linked to $600,000 debt scandal. My heart stopped. The reporter, a polished woman with a serious tone, detailed a massive loan tied to a luxury condo in Scottsdale, complete with a rooftop pool and panoramic views. I'd missed 8 payments of $6,500 each, and the bank was moving to seize collateral. My house, the property tax bill was $12,000, due in 30 days, addressed to me. The condo, a 3,800 square foot unit I'd never visited, never signed for, never dreamed of owning. My pulse thundered as I saw my social security number, my driver's license, details, and a signature that looked like mine but felt wrong to neat. Too deliberate. Panicked, I checked my credit report. My score, once 775, was now 465. My screen was a nightmare. Inquiries from lenders I didn't know. A new credit card with a $10,000 balance I hadn't opened. And that crushing $600,000 debt, staring back at me. I called Desert Bank, my hands shaking, navigating their maddening menu, until I reached a human. This is Jason, how can I assist? The rep's voice was flat, detached. There's a $600,000 loan in my name, I said, my voice quivering. I didn't take it out. This is a mistake. Jason put me on hold for 35 minutes, the hold music looping like a mockery. When he returned, his tone was unchanged. Ms. Davis, the loan was approved in October 2024. The documentation is in order, your signature, driver's license, social security number, everything. I didn't sign anything, I shouted, my voice echoing in my quiet house. Someone stole my identity. You'll need to file a dispute and provide evidence of fraud, Jason said, as if reciting a script. The paperwork appears legitimate. I hung up, my head spinning. Evidence of fraud. How do you prove you didn't do something? I imagined foreclosure notices piling up, movers hauling my furniture away, my neighbors watching as my life crumbled. The tax bill was the final bloat, $12,000 I didn't have, for a condo I didn't own. I called my best friend, Zoe Martinez, a paralegal who'd been my rock since our University of Arizona days. Zoe was quick-witted, no nonsense, and had a nose for trouble. Harper, this screams identity theft, Zoe said, her voice urgent. Freeze your credit with all 3 bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion right now. File a police report and get a lawyer. This is huge. I spent the next 3 hours on the phone, locking down my credit and changing every password, bank accounts, email, even my WordPress blog. My mind raced through possibilities. A hacker, a data breach, some faceless criminal. But as I read the news segment, a familiar face caught my eye, Lily beaming on screen, showing off the Scottsdale condo's sleek kitchen and infinity pool. The reporter called her a rising real estate star, her Instagram handle plastered below. My stomach dropped. This wasn't a stranger. It was my sister. The next morning, I drove to my parents' house in Mar. The 12-mile trip down I-10 was a blur, my hands gripping the wheel as I rehearsed my confrontation. I needed their support, their fury, their promise to help me fight. I brought the news clip on my phone, the foreclosure notice, the tax bill, my credit report, and a folder of bank statements, clutching them like armor. When I pulled into their driveway, the sight of their home-faded stucco saguaro cacti, the old grill on the patio made my chest ache. This was my haven, where we'd roasted marshmallows, argued over card games, celebrated birthdays with Mom's pies. Surely, they'd be as horrified as I was. Mom opened the door, her apron dusted with flour from baking scones. Harper, honey, what a surprise. Her smile vanished when she saw my expression. I sat them down in their living room, the one with Mom's handmade quilts and Dad's fishing rods in the corner. I played the news clip, expecting shock, maybe outrage. Instead, Mom's face paled, and Dad stared at his hands, his knuckles white. They exchanged a glance, and my stomach sank. They weren't shocked. They knew. Harper, sit down, Mom said, her voice trembling. She gestured to the couch, her hands wringing a dish towel. What's going on? I demanded, my voice sharp. Dad cleared his throat, avoiding my eyes. It's about Lily. The room seemed to close in, the air heavy with tension. Mom started crying, soft sobs that filled the silence. Dad explained in a low, reluctant voice. 8 months ago, Lily had come to them, desperate. Her latest venture, flipping a Scottsdale condo, was her breakthrough, she'd said. She'd found a buyer, a developer, who'd pay $1.8 million, once renovated, but with her credit shot from past failures, no bank would touch her. So she'd used my identity and my social security number, my driver's license, a forged signature to secure the $600,000 loan. Mom and Dad knew about it, but swore Lily had promised to pay it back before I found out. She showed us the condo. Dad said, his voice heavy. It's a gem worth double what she borrowed. We thought she'd handle it. Handle it. I stood, my chair scraping the tile, my voice rising to a shout. She stole my identity. She bought a condo in my name, ruined my credit, and now I'm stuck with a $12,000 tax bill. How could you keep this from me? Mom reached for my hand, but I pulled away, my heart pounding. She's your sister, Harper, she said, tears streaming down her face. She's been struggling. We thought she'd pull through this time. You thought? I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. You knew for 8 months and didn't tell me. You let her gamble with my life. Dad's face hardened. She's family, Harper. She's under pressure. You've always been fine. You'll figure this out. I felt like I'd been betrayed twice. My parents, who'd taught me to save, to be honest, were defending Lily. Worse, they'd known since October 2024 and said nothing. You're choosing her over me, I said, my voice breaking. My house is at risk, my credit's destroyed, and you're worried about her. Mom's sobs grew louder. Please, Harper, don't go to the police. It'll ruin Lily's career. She's finally making it. What about my career? I shouted, grabbing my folder. You let her do this, and now you're begging me to protect her. I stormed out, ignoring Mom's pleas, the door slamming behind me. The drive home was a haze, my vision blurred with tears. My family, my safe place, had turned against me. That night, I sat in my living room, the news clip looping on my TV, the foreclosure notice and tax bill crumpled on the coffee table, my phone a burden in my hand. I needed to hear it from Lily. I needed her to explain why she'd betrayed me, why she thought she could flaunt my stolen life on TV. My hands shook as I dialed, but I forced my voice to stay steady. She answered on the second ring, her voice, bright and breezy, like she was mid-photo shoot. Hey Harp. Saw you called. What's up? Did you forge my signature for a $600,000 loan to buy a condo in Scottsdale? I asked, my voice cold, cutting through her cheer. Silence, then a nervous laugh, the kind she used when cornered. Okay, wow, straight to it. Look, I was gonna tell you, I just needed a little time. I snapped, pacing my living room, my bare feet cold against the tile. You stole my identity, Lily. You forged my signature, used my social security number, and put my house at risk. My credit's ruined, and there's a $12,000 tax bill in my name. And now you're on the news acting like it's yours. I'm sorry, Harp, she said, her tone shifting to panic, the charm evaporating. I was in a bind. The Scottsdale condo's a gold mine, $1.8 million. Once it's flipped, I've got a buyer lined up. I'll pay it back, every penny, plus interest. You won't lose a thing. You're broke, Lily, I shouted, my voice echoing. Your clothing line tanked, your blog flopped, your influencer gig barely pays. How are you going to pay back $600,000? The buyer is legit, she insisted, her voice desperate. A developer from Phoenix. Just give me a month. Harp, don't do anything rash. And can you cover the tax bill? Just for now. I'll pay you back. I froze, my jaw dropping. You want me to pay the taxes on a condo you stole with my identity? It's temporary, she pleaded. If the taxes aren't paid, the deal falls through, and we're both screwed. Please, Harp, for the family. I hung up, tears streaming down my face. Lily's gall was staggering. Not only had she betrayed me, but she expected me to bail her out, to sacrifice more to protect her charade. I looked around my house, my sanctuary, with its desert art, my laptop on the table. The view of the Santa Catalina Mountains and felt a cold resolve settle in. This wasn't just about money. It was about trust, and Lily had shattered mine. My revenge would be calculated, silent, and devastating. Zoe connected me with Tara Jackson, a lawyer in Tucson who specialized in identity theft and fraud. Tara was a early 40s, with a sleek ponytail, a piercing gaze, and a reputation for dismantling crooked defendants. We met at her office, a modern space with a view of the desert hills, the sun casting long shadows. I brought everything: the news clip, the foreclosure notice, the tax bill, my credit report, and a timeline of my parents' confession and Lily's call. I even included a photo from a family picnic last fall, showing my purse on the blanket, the purse Lily had rifled through to steal my driver's license. This is fraud, plain and simple, Tara said, scanning the documents. Your sister committed a federal crime: identity theft, forgery, possibly wire fraud. We'll sue her civilly for damages and cooperate with the police for criminal charges. The bank's also liable for approving a loan without verification. We can challenge the title to that condo. Might be yours to reclaim. I hesitated, my stomach churning. Suing Lily feels personal. She's my sister, and my parents there, begging me to drop it. They say it'll tear us apart. Tara's eyes softened, but her voice was firm. Harper, Lily didn't borrow chump change. She stole your identity, put your home at risk, and expects you to pay her taxes. Your parents are enabling her. You don't owe them silence, you owe yourself justice. Her words cut through my guilt. I signed the retainer agreement, my hand steadying as I committed to the fight. But I had another plan brewing, a silent revenge that would hit Lily where it hurt most. Her fame, her dreams, her public image. Tara filed a police report, and within 72 hours, detectives were at Lily's apartment, a trendy loft in Scottsdale. Lily admitted to forging my signature, but claimed I'd agreed to invest, a lie so flimsy it made my blood boil. The police opened a criminal case, and Tara warned her she could face up to 5 years if convicted. The civil lawsuit was next. Tara filed against Lily for fraud, identity theft, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, seeking $1.1 million in damages, enough to cover the loan, taxes, legal fees, and the emotional toll of her betrayal. We also sued Desert Bank for negligence, arguing they'd failed to verify the loan properly. To build the case, I spent weeks gathering evidence, tax returns, pay stubs, utility bills, anything to prove I hadn't authorized the loan. Tara's team hired a private investigator, Jamal Rivera, to dig into Lily's finances. Jamal's report was a treasure trove. The Scottsdale condo had a leaking roof, outdated wiring, and a $35,000 lien from an unpaid contractor. Lily had no buyer, no developer, just a trail of unpaid bills and a $9,000 credit card debt. She'd been living there, hosting influencer events and posting selfies, all while dodging payments. Jamal uncovered a twist. Lily had tried to secure a second loan in my name for $80,000, but the bank rejected it due to my frozen credit. She'd also opened the $10,000 credit card, racking up charges at designer stores and a spa in Sedona. The audacity fueled my resolve. My revenge would target her lifestyle, her facade of success, and her hold over our parents. While Tara built the legal case, I launched my silent war. I started with Lily's Instagram, where she flaunted her real estate empire, with photos of the condo's rooftop pool and chic decor. I anonymously tipped off a local blogger, Tucson T, known for exposing scams, with Jamal's report and screenshots of her posts. Within days, an article titled "Is This Tucson Influencer Living a Lie?" went viral, detailing her unpaid debts and the condo's disrepair. Lily's followers plummeted, her comments filled with accusations, and her brand collapsed. She called me livid, demanding to know who'd leaked the story. I played dumb, my voice calm. Maybe it's the truth, Lily. Next, I targeted her social circle. I contacted old friends she'd ghosted after borrowing money for $100 from Mia, $250 from Carlos, sharing Jamal's report and urging them to demand repayment. They did, flooding her with calls and texts. Her phone buzzed nonstop, her reputation among Tucson's influencers shredding like paper. I watched from afar, my silence my weapon. I also dug into the condo. Using public records, I found the contractor, Steve Nguyen, who'd walked off the job over the $35,000 lien. I met him at a cafe, buying him coffee, and convinced him to file a lien enforcement action against the property, forcing Lily to deal with the legal mess. Steve grinned, saying, "She's been dodging me for months. This still sting." The family pressure intensified. Mom's calls turned from tearful to accusatory, blaming me for ruining Lily. "You're tearing us apart," she said in one voicemail, her voice sharp. Dad sent texts preaching forgiveness, quoting desert proverbs and recalling his own mistakes. My Aunt Rachel called, lecturing me about family loyalty. My cousin Emma, always Lily's shadow, texted, "You're jealous, Harper. Lily's doing big things." The guilt was suffocating, but every time I wavered, I'd see the tax bill, $12,000, now overdue, and my resolve hardened. The trial began on September 15, 2025, in a Pima County courtroom, a modern building with adobe accents and a hum of tension. The gallery was packed, reporters, curious locals, and my parents, sitting stiffly in the back, their faces unreadable. Lily hired a slick lawyer, Greg Torres, who exuded charm and wore suits that screamed money. Tara warned me Greg would play dirty, painting me as complicit. "He'll twist your past support into agreement," she said. "Stay calm." Greg's opening statement was a spin machine. He argued I'd implicitly consented to the loan by lending Lily money for her clothing line years ago, a $180 loan, never repaid, as proof of my trust. He claimed I'd visited the condo, a lie that made my blood boil. A few jurors, including a young man with a skeptical frown, nodded, and my stomach churned. Tara's opening was a sledgehammer. She laid out the facts: Lily's failed ventures, her forged documents, my ruined credit, and the bank's negligence. Harper Davis trusted her sister, Tara said, her voice steady. Lily repaid that trust with a $600,000 lie and a $12,000 tax bill she expects Harper to pay. Lily took the stand, dressed in a demure dress, her eyes brimming with tears. She spun a sob story about her passion for real estate, claiming she'd told me about the loan at a family barbecue and I'd agreed to help. She swore the Phoenix developer was real, delayed by permitting issues. Her performance was Academy-worthy, and I saw Mom dab her eyes in the gallery. I testified next, my voice firm despite my nerves. I told the jury about the news report, the tax bill, the fear of losing my home. I described the betrayal, Lily's lies, my parents' silence, the weight of their judgment. This was my sister, I said, meeting their eyes. I trusted her. She took that trust and stole my life. Tara presented a mountain of evidence, forged documents, with my signature traced from a birthday card, bank records showing Lily's $10,000 credit card spree, Jamal's report on the condo's disrepair, and texts from Lily begging me to pay the taxes. She called Jamal, who testified about Lily's financial mess: no buyer, no developer, just a $35,000 lien and bounced checks. He revealed her second loan attempt, stopped by my frozen credit. The jury leaned forward, their faces grim. The bank's testimony was damning. Their loan officer, Kelly Ortiz, admitted they'd approved the loan based on Lily's paperwork without contacting me. It looked legitimate, Kelly said, shifting in her seat. Tara grilled her, exposing the bank's sloppy verification. You didn't think a $600,000 loan warranted a call. Kelly had no answer. My parents' testimony was brutal. Mom sobbed, saying she'd hoped Lily would fix it. Dad admitted they'd known since October 2024, but didn't tell me because Lily deserved a shot. Greg tried to spin it as a family agreement, but Tara dismantled it, highlighting their complicity. Mr. and Mrs. Davis chose to protect their daughter's lies over their other daughter's future, she said. A surprise witness added fuel. Jamal tracked down Mia, an old friend Lily owed $400. Mia testified that Lily had bragged about using my credit to launch her empire, a slip that shattered her victim act. The jury's faces hardened, and Greg's objections couldn't stop the damage. The trial stretched over 3 weeks, each day a grueling, emotional gauntlet. I leaned on Zoe, who brought me tacos and listened to my rants. My silent the blog post, rallying her creditors, pushing the Leanne had weakened Lily's defense, and I felt a grim satisfaction. On October 6, 2025, we gathered for the verdict. The courtroom was silent, the air thick with anticipation. Tara squeezed my hand, whispering, "You did it, Harper. Hold steady." My parents sat in the back, Mom clutching a rosary, Dad's face stoic. Lily stared at the floor, her hands trembling. The foreman, a woman with a steady voice, stood. "We find the defendant, Lily Davis, liable for fraud, identity theft, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. We award the plaintiff, Harper Davis, $900,000 in compensatory and punitive damages." The courtroom erupted in gasps. Lily's head dropped, her shoulders shaking. Mom let out a wail, and Dad pulled her close, his face ashen. The judge added that Lily would face criminal charges, with a potential 5-year sentence. Tara had negotiated with the bank. They rescinded the loan's claim on my credit, paid $50,000 toward my legal fees, and acknowledged a title challenge. The tax bill was shifted to Lily, who'd have to sell the condo or lose it. But my revenge wasn't done. I'd tipped off a real estate agent, anonymously, to list the condo at a fire sale price $350,000 below its lien, ensuring Lily couldn't profit and would owe the difference. The agent called it a distress sale, and the news spread fast. Lily's Instagram followers mocked her downfall, and a follow-up news segment dubbed her Tucson's fallen star. My silence had dismantled her empire, brick by brick. Relief flooded me, but it was bittersweet. The $900,000 was a fantasy. Lily was broke, her condo a liability. My parents left without a word, their silence a final cut. I'd won, but I'd lost my family. The aftermath was a quiet rebuild. My credit score climbed to 605, a small victory. I refinanced my house to cover legal fees, and my job stabilized. After landing a major client of Phoenix startup that earned me a raise, Zoe became my lifeline, hosting movie nights with popcorn and rom-coms. I met her coworker, Liam Ortiz, a graphic designer with a dry humor, and we started hiking together. His steady presence, a contrast to Lily's chaos. Therapy helped me process the betrayal. My therapist, Dr. Maria Lopez, guided me through the guilt, Lily's actions, my parents' complicity, my own revenge. You protected yourself, she said. That's not cruelty. It's survival. I started volunteering at a youth writing center, teaching creative writing, turning my pain into purpose. Lily's criminal trial looms, and she's living in a rundown apartment, her Instagram deleted. The condo sold for $340,000, leaving her with an $80,000 debt. My parents sent a stiff letter about reconciliation, but I'm not ready. They chose Lily's lies over my truth. This ordeal taught me that family isn't just blood, it's trust, respect, and accountability. Lily's betrayal was a theft of more than money, it was a theft of faith. My parents' silence was its own betrayal, favoring their golden girl over me. My silent revenge, leaking her secrets, rallying her creditors, forcing the condo's sale restored my power, not with shouts but with strategy. I spent months wrestling with guilt, but every time I doubted I'd see my house, my home, safe. Agnand, no, I'd won. I'm sharing this because I'm not alone. Have you faced betrayal, fought back with your own brand of justice, or rebuilt after a loss? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear it. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more real-life tales of resilience and revenge. Let's talk about standing up, fighting smart, and reclaiming your life, no matter who tries to tear you down.